Well, it's the power of storytelling. Santa Claus didn't really exist till film at all.
Welcome to Title's podcast.
We're back again.
We didn't went too far, guys.
Yeah, we didn't go too far. We may have moved and come back. It might be the same day. You'll never know because that's how good we are.
Exactly. Okay, so in this episode, we're going to talk about something that we felt like it was important, especially based on what we do, based on our vision for 2025.
And the other things we've spoke about, I guess, as well. We don't want everyone to think that it's all automation, it's all easy fixing. So I think you still need people and humans, I think.
Yeah. And it's something that, is essential. It's the only thing that even with AI, with technology change, the medium might change, but the principle's still the same. And it's about...
It's about having me. Oh, no, sorry. It's about having storytellers. Storytellers. No, it's about story. We're going to create a few videos this year because no matter what tech is out there, no matter how good you can make something look, with lighting, with sound, with cameras, with equipment, with the AI to pitch your deck, if you don't have a fundamental story to tell or a story that matches your audience or the people you're trying to talk to can really relate to you, then they're just going to switch off.
Yeah.
And that, again, like we've spoken about in other videos, that goes for story when we mention it, not just in a stories, in a literal dramatic story. We're talking about your story as a person, your influencer story, your business story. You need to build your video and build your business's presence, shall I say, media presence through story.
Yeah. Some people will call it like a personal brand as well by creating content and media assets as well. But I mean, let's go to the basics. Let's say for someone that really doesn't know anything, if you have to define storytelling, how would you define?
As in writing a story.
Yeah.
As telling my story. I mean, really, storytelling, it's about sharing who you are as a character, and it's about taking a journey. So whether you're making a 5-minute film about yourself, it's an interview, or you're making a 10-minute animated drama or a 90-minute, it's about taking your audience on a journey with you or your character. That's the fundamental. You need a character, whether that be you or a fictional character.
Yeah.
That character has to have goals, they have to have aims, and they have to go on a journey to achieve those goals.
Exactly.
So if you're telling your business story, that's something you would talk about. And if you're telling a dramatic story, you're trying to think of an event or something cool for a horror film, then what's my character doing? Where are they going? And that's how your audience can relate.
And I think you always associate with that principle of having a hero. Like you
who's the hero?
Who's the hero?
Do you want to be the hero of your own story? Do you want to focus on someone else? They're your hero.
Yeah.
I mean, there's lots of different plays. And I guess the thing is, it's about showing originality, authenticity, and being coming across as the real deal.
Yeah, the real deal. Something that stands out, and something. But I think often that you achieve that by being genuine, just being you, because you as an individual will be unique. And I think it's the same thing when you're building your own brand. You making it so unique because you could have 100 people doing exactly the same thing as you do, but there is something about you that is different, and that
especially if it's an industry
position.
where there's a lot of people doing the same. There's a lot of industries that share. So what makes you, so for example, us at Tile Productions, different than the other video production companies out there, and it's because we want to tell you our story. There's lots of videos across the years we've had about who we are, where we are, and I think it's important for your brand, for your identity, and going on for your short story. I mean, I can touch on physical story from my perspective first. So I want to talk to creatives first out there, and I think it's really important, like we said, have a good character. Have a character that your audience can relate with. Send them on a journey from A to B. What gets in the way? What stops them? How do they overcome it? And if they overcome it, you fulfill those things within your dramatic or your fictional story, and you'll get a great little short. I'm just trying to think of an example, like you come into your workplace, it's been flooded out, you want a promotion, your boss is off sick, very basic one.
Yeah.
You need that promotion today, your skin, are you going to get it? And there's your little story. What obstacles are in the way?
Yeah.
Very, very basic. Not my best example of story time, but that's what it means. I mean, what about business story in terms of things like when we have businesses coming in doing these podcasts or what do you call them, testimonial video? Is it still place for testimonial videos?
Yeah, definitely. I think case studies is always, because there is in business, I think one of the key principles is always about proof of concept market, is the sense of you say, because in business is always about you have a product or a service, so it means that you have A, let's define as A, and you can do A. But often people don't know or don't believe that you can do A until you showcase that you can do A.
So you can do it.
And A normally is about moving A to B. So it's about providing a solution. So it's about understanding other people and understanding what is their problem and how you can make them the hero. Because I feel like sometimes business, I mean, it's good in a sense because you can always say, we're good at this, we're good at that. But the people that really understand the audience, they change the narrative into the audience. So they say something like, we are good because we're helping you to do that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, they have the audience in the first instance. So for example, when you look at Nike, and storytelling is so powerful because there was an interview of Nike CEO describing Nike as a brand.
Oh, I think we touched on one of them in that video. I think
We
Nike as
touched
well.
that, And in this description, he told the story. He said, when you're about to run on a rainy day, we are there with you. You know what I mean? So it was all driven by the audience. He didn't say Nike is the best brand in the world, even that he's one of the best sports brands in the world. But it was about how you can have your audience, your hero that often needs to be your client to achieve something, and that small story.
So I get you. So in that situation,
running.
The audience is the character in essence, and the hero. And you may have a fictional character, a footballer, and then you're making the audience because it's true. It's like, all we also about stories is about relating to people. Now, if you're just advertising. Nike could have split it across multiple countries and gone for different tactics, but by doing that, you're giving a universal concept. So, especially if people who live in Bolton or Manchester, and like to run, you'll be running in the rain a lot. So, do you want a pair of shoes that squeaks? Well, you're running that squeak? No, but Nike have said, look, doesn't matter where you're running, you're going to be our hero, and our shoe will do the job for you.
Yeah, will help you to become the best version of yourself. And I think that's so powerful because you change, you understand that even Nike selling shoes and selling all the uniform and things like that is about them being there in your journey. Because like you said, storytelling is about journey. You don't have a story if there is no a journey. You gotta have a journey. And I think often people struggle to understand that. But even when you're talking about testimonial case studies, is always about the same principle. Is a journey. A person who was in level 1, how can they get to level 2? And it's about that hero, that journey to become a better version and to fix the problems.
And also if they want to give a real personal story in their videos, what obstacles did they face? Come straight out with it and mention that in the video, or we do it creatively like we would do, and we'd create fictional obstacles that are part of a tale or
everything needs to be dramatized a little bit.
Well, that's why we were saying, like, going back to the beginning of this conversation, we'd spoke a lot about AI, and we said, like, I don't think those kind of creatives can come without a human mind at this moment in time. You could Google now, you could go on ChatGPT, which as I've mentioned is I do use a lot, and I find a great bit of software for what it is. And you could say, give me some great slogans or branding for a business and how to make it tell this business's story, and it will come up with a beginning, a middle, and an end, and a basic journey. But I think without understanding the people in that story, understanding what touches them, understanding what made them that different than any other humans, then I think,
Yeah, and I think I probably would say that in order to tell a good story, is something that you gotta know. You gotta know, understand your audience. You need to understand.
Captivate them.
Yeah. But you can't only captivate them if you know them. You know what I mean? It's like you go, let's say your best friend. If you about to tell a story or communicate something with your best friend, you know how to communicate with your best friends because you understand the fears, you understand where they come from, you understand what he values because you understand them. It's the relationship.
What do the person in the video value, as well as what value can the audience get from that video? And I think, that a story then. So we can all come up with a story. I could come up with a story. Paul walked to work today in the rain. Yeah. He got there and took his coat off. That's not the same, is it? There's no value to that story.
Exactly. Unless he's a Paul, you know what I mean? He's a Paul that can relate to it as well. So
he came in today and he did this and he did that and that people can relate to. Sorry, going off on one there.
No, it's fine. So I think that is the principle. A story you need a journey, and in order to really connect with the audience, you need to understand them. You need to understand what people value, the target audience. So when he moves into business, I think before you even tell the story, you need to understand, one, who you are, and two, is your audience.
Yeah, I think to find your audience, you need to know yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, because you can target an audience. But I think that's sometimes when coming up with your own personal story, especially in drama and fictional writing, I don't think you should worry too much at the beginning of who this is for. I think when you're writing a fictional document, it should be it's for you. It's a story you want to tell,
Yeah.
but that should naturally find an audience, especially if you're talking about something, a past event that's really important to you or something that's important to your life, or asking one of them fancy what if questions. What if AI took over the world?
Yeah.
And that creates you to that story element, I think. So there's lots of ways.
I think it's very because often we look for solutions and trying to understand, okay, we got to tell a story, who is going to watch, but you're 100% right. I think you got to start from you because you consume content.
You're your own story.
Because you consume content as well, and if there is a content that trying to create something that you'd watch, something that you'd actually spend the time watching.
Yeah, I mean, anyone could imitate someone else. So I could sit there and ask, I want to be an influencer, try and imitate someone else, but it's not that easy because there's nothing unique. You need to, if it's your story and you're honest to yourself, then it remains quite a unique.
It remains quite unique. Yeah. No, I totally agree. So I mean, there is quite a lot about storytelling.
Yeah, we've discussed before storytelling in some of our pitches. It goes back to cavemen.
Yes.
Storytelling is what's guided society forever. Our society is built on historical texts and stories. They say now modern society is built purely on American culture.
Yes,
because
that's
American
story.
culture from the 1930s and movies has influenced the world so much through their storytelling. Well, it's the power of storytelling. Santa Claus didn't really exist till film at all, right? It did exist in various versions, but the version we know came from film.
Yeah.
Valentine's Day, chocolate. All these things. The thing about chocolates, thing about we celebrate birthdays, Valentine's Days, Christmas, it all came from pop culture. We don't understand that. It's not societal. Society was built from culture, built from stories passed down through generations. Same if you believe it, not to be offensive, but also in the Bible. If you see the Bible as a story, there is still truth to it because it's come down from story written in generations. And I think it going back to the very dawn of man, storytelling is fundamental. And all these thousands of years later.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It just has to be faster now.
Exactly. Because even in the caveman, they used to paint to tell that stories, communicate that's in principle.
This is what I've seen. Maybe a wildebeest or a yak or something on the wall. It might not be. It might just be the same as a stick man, but it's what they see and what they.
Yeah, and if you actually look, and I know that we probably run out. Our producers is signing. The time is almost finished. But just to end, if you look at the most successful people, if you look at politicians, if you look at people in the top of the games, they are storytellers.
They generally have a character.
Yes,
you look them all over them. Boris Johnson, Donald Trump. There is a character, and a character who's in a story.
Who's in a story, yeah.
You think Donald Trump was a story. You think he
was.
was.
He
but
has
I
a
think
story.
he's a fictional character. Personally,
yeah.
How much of that's real, how much of that's fiction, we'll never know. Anyway, that's another debate.
Yeah, that's another debate. I think it might be a mix of both of them. But let us know in terms of the comments as well. What do you think in terms of storytelling?
Yeah, also, do you think AI can will replace coming up with great concepts better than humans? Do you think storytelling has a place in marketing and advertising still, in non-fiction? And how do you come up with your ideas for your creative stories if you're into fiction?
Let us know. Let us know as well which other type of video you'd like us to produce.